Hello, friends. So today we're doing somewhat of a love reading. It has a lot to do with relationship dynamics and what a specific person in your field at this time is mirroring back to you. So what is this person in your field at this time mirroring back to you? All right. So these are some fun objects that you get to pick from to pick your pile. We're going to do 3 piles for this reading. If more than one pile resonates, feel free to watch both because, many different messages can resonate at the same time in our lives because there could be multiple types of connections and people in our lives. So this is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is pile 3. So I just want to lay them out for you at the same time. And then we'll go through each one individually. Pile 1, this beautiful stick, magic wand. Oh. Okay, pile 2 are these dried flowers. I love this so much. Pile 2, and this lavender. It's pile 3. Okay. My hand's shaking. Okay. So if you picked your pile, if you needed to pause to feel into it more, to pick the pile, feel free to do that. But we're gonna get into the reading for pile 1. What came through for pile 1, the first card was the 3 of Wands with the 2 of Swords. So if we're looking here at the 3 of Wands, we can see this energy of anticipation. Like she's looking out and trying to figure out with this person, like, what could we become? Like she's looking out into the future possibility of what this connection could be. He or she, right? The card happens to have a woman. But so it feels like this person in your field that you may have connected with, it could have been like you guys didn't fully connect. You weren't fully able to start a connection. And it feels like there was this anticipation energy of, oh my gosh, when are we going to connect? When is this connection going to happen? And almost like reading into a future that, didn't really happen. So it feels like you may still be in this energy of like, I wonder if this is still going to happen or not. And then the 2 of Swords is an indication that the connection paused. Okay, the connection had to pause because either you or this person didn't reach out or make something happen. But it feels like the 2 of Swords gave you, and maybe the other person too, the opportunity to actually sit with what was coming up around the connection. So it kind of gave you a reality check a little bit, because with the 7 of Cups reversed here, it feels as though this connection may have brought up some old patterns of looking into the fantasy of something, immediately rushing towards attachment. It could be this energy of but since it's reversed, it feels like that illusion has been able to drop, because with the 2 of Swords here, there was a suspended evaluation. There was a suspension in the moving forward of the connection here and this energy of waiting. But that waiting period actually gave you the spaciousness to clock yourself, honestly. Like to sit with yourself and be like, oh, wow. Some things are coming up here with the 7 of Cups around this person. I think I'm projecting. I think I'm projecting desires and longings onto this person, even though I don't know them. Maybe limerence has been a part of your experience. Creating this fantasy with somebody in your head without really even knowing the person or actually getting to know them in a practical way. And it feels like you're literally killing that pattern in real time because there was a suspension here and it gave you time to actually think about, is this in alignment, or am I just making up a story about me and this person that is not grounded in reality? I'm not saying that there's no hope in the connection, but I'm just saying that you may have had a pattern of just jumping in to this fantasy realm without being grounded in, is this an illusion in my mind, or is this alignment? Is this limerence? Is this obsession? Or is this practicality? Is this my heart, or is this attachment? So you've been able to drop all of those illusory emotions that may have come up because of your initial attraction to this person. So the suspension and the pause was actually a very, very positive thing for you because it allowed you to drop the illusions that were coming up. And it's like you may have been prone to an emotional intoxication in the past of like, oh, I like just being really intoxicated with your initial feelings for someone. And it feels like this card is really showing you like you're not looking at all these cups and all of these illusions in awe of like, I want all of this. Like you're dropping all of that. The illusion has fully cleared here. And you're in a space of you're in a space of discernment now. You're in a space of discernment where you're like, okay, this person could be cool, but I'm also not attached to a storyline or a future with this person. I'm plugged into reality. I'm plugged into my discernment here. But this doesn't mean that you've given up or that you don't believe in love or that you're not hopeless, but that you're not a romantic. Like, it doesn't mean that at all. But it means that you're able to discern between feelings of loneliness, desire, projection, limerence, intuition, fantasy, alignment. You're able to filter through those emotions and realize what is true and what can just pass through. Like certain things that can pass through, for example, is projection. Like you're realizing that you're projecting a fantasy onto somebody. That's something that you can notice and be like, okay, I'm noticing that I'm projecting this image of what I want a beautiful partner to be onto this person. And I don't even know them. So why am I making up this whole story? So that's you realizing in real time that you've dropped that illusion and that you're highly discerning about who you want in your life at this time. So, and even though you're highly discerning, you're also still deeply plugged into that beautiful, dreamlike, romantic state. And you have hope that that is something that is in the cards for you as well. But you're not projecting that fantasy onto every single person that sparks attraction or interest. And I feel like what this person is mirroring to you right now is the fact that you've completely dropped that pattern. And you've tapped into a new level of emotional maturity when it comes to connection. And that is really, really powerful. That's a powerful mirror. And the moon and the star came out. So to me, it's like with the moon, a lot of people will jump to the conclusion when you get the moon card that like, oh, I'm in this emotional fog and this kind of like foggy headspace. But I feel like for you, the moon came out for you to acknowledge that you're choosing alignment over emotional fog now. You're in a space where you're very much aware of that. There's a wolf and a dog on this card. And to me, this is like you're very much aware of your desires and your primal instincts and your primal nature, and like the fact that you do have desires. And I feel like that's very much that wolf energy of like that animal nature of like I feel desire and I want this. But then the dog brings you into this state of, you know, dogs are very connected to humans, to reality, to being grounded in this reality. And I feel like there's nuance between your primal desire and also being connected to reality. And you undergoing with the butterflies, like this transformation of you're tuned into your unconscious, but you're also bringing them into the conscious field. So you're very much aware of the emotional fog that's happening and that this person may have triggered for you, but you're not allowing that emotional fog to run the experience. You're in a space where you can be aware of it without it controlling your emotional experience. And that is growth for you, because in the past you may have allowed that emotional fog to cloud your feelings. And right now you're very much aware that there's certain things that are coming up that are just not in alignment with your new perception of reality. Like, you're very much aware of your desires, but you don't project them onto every single person. And that is a beautiful form of growth. Really, really cool. And I think that with the star, it's this energy of like you have one foot in the water and one foot on the earth, and it feels like this energy of I'm deeply connected to that star dreamlike energy of, you know, wishing upon a star, wishing upon a star for my soulmate, for my dream life, for my dream connection. But then you're also deeply grounded into reality of, if this connection is going to come to me when it's divinely aligned, and this is not something that I have to force into my reality. So this connection isn't having you question your faith and love at all. It's actually just you noticing your pattern and you noticing that you can actually stay deeply connected to yourself even when there is emotional fog. You can stay deeply connected to what you dream about in love while also not losing that sense of reality and being realistic and thinking about, is this actually in alignment? Is this going to work for me long term? Like, are we actually feeling each other, or are we just projecting? Because you never know. Sometimes when somebody mirrors that to you, you might actually be mirroring that to them too. Because we really do mirror each other when we connect with others. So I feel like, again, the star is reflecting back to you that you are deeply spiritually open right now. And I feel like your heart is very open too. There's this openness about your energy right now, but without disassociation from reality. Right? So it's like you're deeply open to a whimsical, magical love story, but not something that's going to sweep you away from reality or sweep you away from yourself. So this is a beautiful, positive message here. And I feel like it's also this acknowledgement of, look how differently you hold uncertainty now. Like, when something feels uncertain and you're just looking out, trying to fill in the blanks, you don't immediately go to this like fantasy realm of, oh my God, this is my soulmate. Like, we're gonna have babies together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this, when there's space from a connection, we start to fill in the blanks with all these illusions and all these projections and all of this, like, is this my person? But like, you're not, look how you deal with uncertainty so differently now. Like, you're in a space where you're deeply grounded in reality without losing hope for what you dream and desire for. You hold uncertainty by literally just holding it. Like she's petting this dog. Like she's in the uncertainty. She's in the fog, but she's not losing herself in the fog. She sees the fog. So it's like, you should be proud of yourself. This is mirroring to you how much you've grown. This is mirroring to you that you are in a space where you are deepening in your emotional maturity here. You can hold emotional fog and illusion without getting lost in it. Like, you notice when it comes up. And that is so powerful. That's giving shadow work. I'm like, queen, I'm like a king. Whoever you are, like, I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you. And you caught yourself. You caught yourself in that pattern. It doesn't mean that this person isn't for you. It's just your awareness and your attunement to yourself at this time has been activated through this person. So if this connection does end up moving past the 3 of Wands stage, then so be it. That's great. And you're still aware and still plugged into reality as you move through this connection, whether it happens or not. I'm just telling you what it's mirroring to you today. I'm not telling you the outcome. I'm not a fortune teller, okay? That's not what I do here. But anyways, let us go to pile 2. Pile 2 is a completely different energy, and it feels like less of a present person in your field right now. It feels like somebody from the past that is mirroring to you right now a very, very profound, not lesson, but a profound growth that you have had to overcome throughout this heartbreak, dare I say. Dare I say, you may have been heartbroken if you pick pile 2, okay? And pile 2, these cards came out together, and I think that they're so perfect that they came out together. And they came out reversed, which actually feels very, very positive. Because upright, the 8, sorry, my foot is like cramping. I'm like, the 8 of Swords and the Page of Swords. So to me, it feels like whatever happened was painful. Okay, we're not gonna discredit that. It was hurtful, and it feels like right now you're deeply acknowledging the pain that you went through in this connection. It doesn't feel like you're actively in this really heavy healing space, but it feels like you finally acknowledged that this connection is just not, it was never meant to move forward the way that you wanted it to. And that broke your heart, but I feel like what's being mirrored to you right now is heartbreak integration. It feels like you're really, really in a space where you've integrated this pain. It doesn't mean that it's fully over, but it feels softer, and it feels like you're not in a space where you're questioning if you could still be with this person. It feels like you're finally in a space of deep acceptance, even though it does feel a little bit tender. And again, these cards are like so symbolic together because it signifies that you've come out of an overthinking loop about this person. So maybe right after the heartbreak, you were in a space where you were just constantly trying to figure it out, trying to understand, maybe thinking about, oh, maybe they'll reach out in the future, maybe this person is still the one. And the Page of Swords is kind of like a lurking energy. So, you know, trying to connect the dots, maybe stalking this person on socials, maybe trying to gather as much information on this person as possible, maybe watching a bunch of tarot love readings about this person and just feeding your overthinking and delusional thoughts even more. These are just examples, but at their core, these cards are you coming out of this like surveillance energy of like, oh, I wonder what this person is doing. I wonder if they still miss me. I wonder if they still love me. And then the 8 is like coming out of those obsessive thinking loops. And it feels as though these came out reverse. So to me, it's like you're done with all of that. You got to a point where you were so mentally exhausted from looping and thinking and giving this person so much energy that you eventually just had to surrender, because it's exhausting to be in this energy. And whether you chose to turn that off or whether you were just kind of forced to surrender, both are valid. I get it, okay? I understand. And I wouldn't go to a place of shaming you for that, obviously. Like, I've been through that too, and I think that that's just a way that we cope sometimes, and it's a way that we process our heartbreak sometimes, is just by like trying to figure it out. And that's completely valid, completely okay, but it feels like you've severed your attachment to coping in this way, and you're finally reaching a state of deep acceptance. And I feel like, wow, emotional maturity is coming up for all of these readings. I feel like this person is mirroring back to you that you can handle this pain with the truth now. And that you finally accepted that whatever long-term potential you deeply wanted for this connection, it's just not like, it did not happen the way that you planned it out in your head. And like, maybe there was potential for that, but it never stabilized. And your heart ended up really wounded and really hurt. So you're finally in a space where you're done looking back and trying to mentally solve something that never hit the ground. And I think that's what the aces are trying to tell us right now with the Ace of Swords and Ace of Pentacles. The Pentacles is saying, look, yes, there was potential, but it never happened. And it's time for you to let it go in your body. Instead of like, letting it go from your mind, because you can try that all you want, but sometimes it's just like the pain needs to be processed somatically and just leave you through the body. And it feels as though your body's learning how to release this without these coping mechanisms here. Like, you're choosing not to engage with the overthinking and with the impulse of like needing to know what this person is up to. And that's real growth. And it feels like with the Ace of Swords, it's that confirmation of this is no longer a situation that you need to solve mentally. You're done trying to solve this mentally. Like, if there wasn't good closure here, you're just accepting it. If you didn't understand why things went the way they did, you've decided you don't need to understand anymore. Like, you're just done. You're exhausted. You're like, I don't need to understand. I just want to let this go. I need to somatically, like, my body needs to just release this, because mentally you know that this is just not, it was never in alignment to begin with, and you know that. But it's been like this huge attachment that has been pretty challenging for you to let go of. And I feel that this person is deeply mirroring to you right now as well, that you've been able to grow out of the obsessive thoughts and hold clarity without judging yourself for going to that place before. And I feel like this person's also mirroring to you that you're emotionally mature enough to hold clarity while also holding pain. Both can coexist. Like, you're clear that this is something of the past, and you're clear that you coped through certain ways. such as, the rumination, thinking about a fantasy, just like, or like maybe stalking or trying to just know everything about this person. And it just feels like you've realized that you're in a space where you can let that go now. You can step into a deeper level of emotional maturity and let go of those coping mechanisms that made you once feel safe. And this is deep integration of an emotional wound, and you should be proud of yourself that you're hitting the integration phase with deep self-honesty. And that's what it's mirroring to you right now. It's not mirroring to you how much pain you're in. It's mirroring to you that you got through the pain. And you're able to accept that maybe you are still a little bit in pain, and that's okay. But it's better to accept that you're in pain than to be in a rumination loop and to just continue giving this person energy who, quite frankly, wasn't able to give you the potential that you thought they could give you. Because this came out reverse, babes. Like, there was potential. This person was not able to deliver the potential that you thought they could. That could be specifically for somebody, okay? But in general, for all of you with this message, I just feel like whatever pain that you couldn't hold before, you're able to hold it right next to the truth. Like, you're able to just be with that and hold your highest truth. And it doesn't even feel like you're bitter or anything like that. It feels like true acceptance. It feels like you're taking your healing into your own hands and you're saying, you know what? I'm letting go of these loops and cycles that make my brain go insane. I'm exhausted from it, and I'm just going to be with the truth. This didn't work out for a reason. There's a reason for everything. And now you have higher discernment. And that's deeply important. And you have a deeper level of emotional maturity. You're not going to put yourself back into a situation that causes that same type of pain again. So you're operating at a higher level of awareness right now. And this person is mirroring that back to you, because that connection with that person triggered all these feelings in the first place. So yeah, sometimes, people that show up to mirror us a specific lesson, sometimes it's not the most fun, but it can be some of the most pivotal, magical medicine that you encounter on your path sometimes. So yeah, and that's, this is not to make you sad. It's to make you feel empowered. Like, you've accepted that, yeah, there is some emotional residue. And you're in a place where you're powerful enough to be with that. You're not in those loops anymore, and you should be proud of yourself that you're no longer, in this suffering, trapped in this mental loop about it. Like, you've escaped that loop, and you're consciously choosing to not engage with activities that could put you back into that loop. And that is growth. Okay? I'm proud of you. Heartbreak sucks. But also, you're becoming more powerful every day because of it. Don't forget that. And you deserve somebody that's going to hold it down for you long term. Okay? So anyway, let's move into pile 3. The first card out in pile 3 was the Judgment card. And I clarified the Judgment card with the Empress. So I think that there's this energy of you waking up to a new way of relating in love. And how? Through the Empress. So, for example, this is like you're waking up to what is nourishing versus what is hollow. You're waking up to, what is my true desire? What do I deeply desire? Versus, what have I naturally defaulted to in my life that feels easy and familiar? You're waking up to softness, reciprocity in connection, and emotional maturity in connection. That is coming up a lot too. Because this Empress energy is somebody who knows how to stay grounded and deeply nourished within themselves. And I feel that in connection, this is somebody who really values reciprocity, who really values tenderness, who really values feeling seen and feeling held, and really values their desires being fully and deeply met. I feel like that's so Empress. Like, you value what you desire. You don't just default to attraction. Your desires are deeper than that. And you're realizing that. You're waking up to that energy within you. You see like this figure coming from the sky, like playing this instrument to somebody below. Like, it's like, yo, wake up. You're waking up to a new way of relating when it comes to connection. This could be in friendships. This could also be in partnerships. So, and I feel like, okay, the Empress also has a lot to do with your self-worth. It has a lot to do with what you value. It has a lot to do with feeling emotionally connected to someone, and physically, not just one or the other. And it's really about feeling into it, feeling into a connection. So I feel like you're also waking up to feeling into things rather than like making a decision about someone off the bat. Like, you're in this Empress energy, not fully yet. It's awakening. You're awakening to, how do I intuitively feel into connection before I make up my mind about a connection? How do I take things slow and create a connection in a sustainable and patient way? How do I allow it to come together naturally instead of trying to figure it out or trying to mold myself for a connection or trying to present myself in a way where I'll have more luck with this connection? Like, it feels like you're being called to deep authenticity right now and just taking your time with things and understanding what you value and what you desire versus what you immediately feel attracted to or what you've defaulted to in past relationships or situations. Because I feel like the Empress is really calling on, what do you really, really deeply desire from the depths of your heart versus, I'll just take what's available, or versus, I usually get along with this type of person, so, you know, I'm bored, let me just hang out with this person. Like, you're deeply in touch with, no, you're awakening to a deep intentionality here. So, yeah, like, you want real value and you're tapping into, what does real value feel like? Because maybe you're calling in a whole different type of person that you've never connected with that type of person in the past, right? And there's somebody in your field right now who's making you think. There's somebody in your field who you've connected with, but you haven't really, you know, moved forward in this connection because we have the Four of Swords here. Like, you're kind of in this pause and kind of just not jumping into things. Like, you're just really trying to evaluate what your intuitive knowing right now with the High Priestess. So there's someone in your field who's activating these intuitive knowings that are coming through with the High Priestess, and it feels like you're sensing something, but you can't fully put your finger on it. And you know that you're waking up to calling in deeper value and feeling into how does that actually feel like? And it feels like you're in a Four of Swords energy right now because you're still trying to figure out what that feels like, because you may not know what that feels like because in the past you didn't have that. So now you're not jumping into anything too quickly. You're still in this space of my intuition is active. I can't fully articulate what I'm picking up right now through the person that is like activating and mirroring all of this to me, but I'm feeling the shift. Like you're feeling a shift that is happening right now. And it has a lot to do with your value. And it feels like your intuition is registering the emotional cost of engaging with this person. And I feel like that's where the Four of Swords comes in. Like before you engage, you're in this intuitive space and this pause of, I'm evaluating what this connection is going to cost me emotionally. Because you're trying to understand, like, should I connect or should I not? And it feels like you don't fully know because you're registering the emotional cost. You're registering if, like, this person matches your values, if this person matches your self-worth. You're trying to figure it out, but it's also like you're sensing something. You're sensing some kind of connection, but you don't really... It feels like you're not really sure about whether you want to engage or not. And that's okay to not be sure. It's okay to reserve your energy for now until you are sure. Because maybe the medicine right now is take space, evaluate, reflect. What do you like about this person? What could be better? Why do you like this person? Why do you feel attracted? Like really being in that space of evaluating your intuition and like I feel like you're valuing stillness right now over engaging and just finding out. Like it feels like you're really protecting your peace right now. Because a lot of people are just like, I'm just gonna mess around and find out if I like this person, you know? I might as well just go and find out. But it feels like you're in a space where it feels like it'll cost you to even engage once. So it feels like you're really prioritizing your stillness and your intuition over engaging, over moving. And it feels like you're in a space where you're gathering your information from your intuition and from sensing into these connections and sensing into what they're mirroring to you over moving forward, over physically taking action. And this is you're in a space where you're really, really intentional. So I feel that is actually a really wise move for you at this time. And I wouldn't force yourself to engage if that doesn't feel aligned with how you feel intuitively. Sometimes people show up just to mirror certain things to us. It doesn't mean that they are an extremely significant person in our lives. Sometimes people come in and out just to show us how far we've come, or to show us what we value, or to show us what we don't want. You know, we don't always have to make it something that it's not. Sometimes it's just a mirror. So, but if this person is someone you end up connecting with, it feels like a pause right now to evaluate how you're going to share your energy is important, because you're recognizing your worth and value right now, and you're recognizing how much you want to give and how much you want to keep to yourself at this time, because the Four of Pentacles came out here. So it feels like even if you do intend on connecting with this person and you're sensing that there is something that wants to form, you're being called right now to consciously conserve your energy. just a little bit. Like, not hold it back out of fear, but hold it back with intention, out of respect for what you've already cultivated within you. And that's a deep sense of self-respect. It's like, I feel like these, what do I even call these? They're not, I guess they're like wands, or sticks, but it feels like, you know, this person isn't fully closed off, but this figure is very much respectful of what they have cultivated here. And they are, out of respect for themselves and what they've cultivated, that stability that they've cultivated in their life, which is you, obviously, like, out of respect for the stability that you have within yourself at this time, you're not willing to be reckless with your energy, and you're not willing to share your energy unless you are 100% sure. So that's why this period of really understanding what you're intuitively picking up on and just being in a restful space of, you know what, I'm not engaging, I'm not really doing anything, and I'm okay with that. That's what the Four of Swords is telling me right now. It's like, you know, it's not that you're bored. It's like it feels like you feel completely fine with not engaging right now, because you really want to understand how you feel intuitively first. You don't just want to move from a place where you're not clear. And that's important, because your Empress energy is waking all the way up right now, okay? Like, that is what's happening. And whoever is mirroring this to you right now is actually really important, because this person is helping you understand what you value in connection, whoever this is. This person is showing you what you want and what you don't want. Even if you guys like haven't talked a lot, it could honestly just be somebody in passing. Like, it depends on the person, right? Or this could be someone that you already talked to, but this person is showing you that you want to feel intuitively clear before you move forward on anything. You're not down to just do things for the plot anymore, or do things just for fun anymore. You're highly intentional about what you value and what you're worth and what type of connections you want to have in your life. And you want the connections in your life to be deeply nourishing. So you're waking up to that, and you're not just going to be out here sharing your energy with just anyone. And the Four of Pentacles deeply clarifies that. It's this inner cultivation that's happening, and you don't want anything to disrupt that. So you're keeping that close to you. You're like, I'm cultivating right now. I'm in the process of transformation. I'm becoming right now. And I've cultivated a peace within myself, and I'm not willing to sacrifice that peace for just anybody that I meet, you know? So you're kind of keeping your energy not guarded, but intentionally conserved. Okay? There's a very big difference. So yeah, I love that for you. So that is the mirror. That is the mirror right now. It's like you are being awakened into, what do you value in connection? And how are you going to follow through with that knowing? How are you going to move with that beautiful knowing from the Empress? How are you going to allow the Empress energy to awaken the way that you relate with others? To awaken you into a higher level of reciprocity in relationships, like relationships and friendships that feel deeply nourishing to you. Like, that is being awakened and mirrored to you right now. That is something that you really want. And maybe you have felt tempted to like share your energy with people out of feelings of, you know, I think sometimes the Four of Laurels can reflect that feeling of scarcity and like conserving your energy out of scarcity. But this doesn't feel like the case here. It feels like you know your worth. So you're not willing to share your energy just like that. That's a wise move here. So anyway, I'm happy that you're here, and I hope that you resonated with this reading today. Okay, I'm gonna go. I don't want to go. But if this resonated with you, I would love to hear in the comments. The comments that you guys have left me so far make me feel so happy, and even feedback, like, I'm open. But it just feels so heartwarming when somebody resonates with a message. So if you do, I would love to hear about it. And I'm sending you so much love on your path. And I hope that this reading was medicine for you. And I hope that you were able to pinpoint who was mirroring that to you at this time, and how you can move with the knowing of, oh, okay, cool. I love diving into the cards from the intention of just understanding, not fortune telling, but understanding. And that's what I want to share on here. I want to share that this is a beautiful tool to understand the life journey, to understand the fool's journey, to understand how we all mirror each other and how the cards mirror us. Like, that's what I'd love to get across on this channel. That's what I want to get across. Because I don't believe in fortune telling, if I'm being quite honest with you. I just think that we should be present with our journey. Why do we need to tell the future? What's present right now? What is being mirrored to me right now? What is my medicine right now? You know? And that's what I want to share here. I want to share how I personally reflect through the cards, and how that can help us move throughout our journeys with more awareness, and maybe even deeper self-compassion, or deeper self-knowing. And I feel like that's what these cards are. They're a tool for self-inquiry and for deeper self-knowledge. And that's why I love it so much. So anyway, if you are a follower, I deeply appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.